Hello, everyone. This is Will.
This is Alex.
Welcome back to another episode of They Mostly Coming Out at Night.
Oh boy, mostly.
Okay, before we get into the movie, I just want to say go subscribe to all our stuff all over the internet, all over the interwebs,
The web zones, yeah.
Facebook. Instagram's a ghost town, but you can still follow us there if you want to.
Yeah, sure, why not?
YouTube's our biggest one. We're on there a lot, so give us a like, follow, subscribe, all that good stuff. A little bit of housekeeping. I do apologize for last week's episode. I did not realize. So the mics were fine until a certain point, and then they weren't. And then you can barely hear me, so you have to crank your audio. So Alex is super fucking loud, and I'm this quiet whispering voice in the background.
Will is the ghost.
Yeah, I'm the fucking ghost in the fucking machine back there. So I do apologize for that. I am actively monitoring the audio levels right now, so
Yeah,
we are good. So I'm sorry if it happens again. We will edit it so you can actually hear.
we will perform the magic and
Yes.
fix it.
Yes, I will edit that, so that will not happen again. So I do apologize. Anyway, let's get unless you have any other housekeeping.
No, well, I mean, I
Items.
guess I know that's not really housekeeping, but I guess I'll do the intro to this. We are on the episode 225, I believe,
Yes.
which is a request. One of you lovely people requested Blue Sunshine.
Here it is.
Um,
I hope you're happy.
Now, way back then, when we were young lads and we were still in our 70s thing, I remember looking at this, and I think we didn't watch it either because it wasn't fully a horror movie, and also because this movie's almost impossible to get a hold of. But then one of you lucky people dropped this as a recommendation, and I said, you know what? Fuck it. I finally got a hold of this shit, and we finally did it. And little did you know, Will, this is
my
a repeat.
God.
This is a repeat offender.
What?
This
No way.
way,
This is gonna make me even more.
this man, did. Do you remember a movie called Squirm with the worms,
Yes.
which we weren't really fond of?
No. That movie sucked.
I will say I think this is a better movie.
The camera works better, and
The character,
I mean, generally speaking, the whole movie is better.
no, the whole movie's better.
Squirm. Yeah, that's fair.
But we'll kind of get to our thoughts. I will say though,
I think we have differing opinions on the ending of this
Yes.
movie.
for different reasons. I will say though,
I'm withholding.
as
judgment.
somebody once said, that was some weird shit.
It's really fucking weird. If you do like this shit, good luck finding this movie.
I'm not gonna tell you.
It took. It is on a streaming site. that
According to
probably no one
IMDb, this
uses.
is on AMC Plus.
Maybe if all you people who have AMC Plus want to check this out, go for it.
If one of the 5 people on the planet who gives a shit about Walking Dead has AMC Plus, Godspeed to you, I guess. But most of you are gonna have trouble with this one, unless you really. I mean, look, unless
You're dedicated. I mean,
you're dedicated. I mean, I'm assuming whoever requested this has seen this, so maybe you have the Blu-ray of this. But let's just get into it.
Yeah. So let's get into Blue Sunshine.
I also want to say beforehand, I knew what the synopsis was of this movie beforehand. Will did not, and he had a funny guess.
Oh my God, I was so wrong.
Little
Dude,
did you
I
know.
was so fucking wrong. I cannot believe
You
that
played yourself, sir.
I did.
You boomed
I
yourself
fucking DJ Khaled myself into oblivion.
into oblivion, is right. So this thing,
Okay, so it starts with the credits kind of start. So it's a blue moon,
And the credits,
then
it's like vignettes for the
well,
beginning.
yeah. So it's like okay, so the blue moon shows up. It shows some of the actors, and then it goes to a vignette, which
It goes down. And it's a doctor, and he's very on edge, stressed out. He's taking pills, and he talks to this woman who has
cancer.
cancer.
She has cancer. And they're about to operate on her, and she's asking the doctor, "You're not going to cut me up again, are you?"
And I don't remember what he says, but he gets
He gets a headache.
and it zooms in on his eyes,
And
going
they're
all
like,
wonky.
they almost go like cross-eyed. Like,
and then it goes
already, we're
yeah,
like 5 minutes in, we already have like,
1 minute.
like goofy shit happening.
It goes back to the credits with the moon, and it's slightly bigger.
So then it goes back down.
And it's a...
Is it the woman with the guy with the dog?
No, it's the babysitter.
Oh, you're right. Okay, yeah.
The neighbor.
So the neighbor is watching two kids.
And
they're-
reading Rapunzel. Right.
And they're kind of like loud and obnoxious kids on purpose.
Mostly the boy. But
And
he's
they're
like...
asking like tons of questions and
she's
like,
getting like annoyed
and then the little girl pulls out a strand of her hair.
Not yet. You're missing the foreshadowing. Well,
Oh.
because there's the TV on, and it's the guy doing the campaign ad, who you will later find out is her ex-boyfriend,
Ex-husband.
ex-husband.
Yeah, they're married.
And they see that, and she keeps getting like uncomfortable, and then the little girl pulls out a strand of her hair, like
And
a big strand.
And she gets a headache.
She gets a headache, and it zooms in on her eyes, going wonky. Goes back to the moon.
Now, already, like, I know you kind of disagree with me, but the editing isn't like bad, but it is very awkward.
There's a lot of
like extreme close-ups, and it's very, like you said, clinical.
There's a lot of
They're
scenes
like-
where
they're-
it's like close-ups of people talking, and every time they're talking, it's just like they're almost looking at the camera, but not quite. And it's just very, I don't know, it almost feels like a fucking like...
It's just like almost like it's like the uncanny valley kind of
Yeah.
effect, right? Where it's like it just looks weird.
It's very, like, a lot of close-ups and a lot of people acting with their faces, their eyebrows.
Especially the main guy. Man, this guy, he literally couldn't say, if he didn't sing a single word, I think we would know exactly what he was thinking on screen. 'Cause
Yes.
his facial acting is so like pronounced and just like all over the place.
Because it's just all close-ups, and
So then it goes back to the moon.
it's a little bigger now.
It's bigger now. Now it goes back down, and it's a woman that's like getting ready for bed.
And her husband's not home.
Oh, well, and like her kid, she's talking to like some person,
Her kids.
and her kids will grab a milkshake, and she's like, "Don't grab that milkshake!"
Put it down!
Yeah, she gets like all like super mad with him.
And they have a friend over, and he's like, yeah, he's probably stressed because he's a cop and blah, blah, blah. And then he shows up looking all fucking goofy. We started laughing right away because he's just standing in the corner of the room staring.
He just stares at this friend,
And then the guy's
doesn't
like,
say a
okay,
single word, and he's like, "Okay, I'll see you later."
I guess I'll go. And then he leaves, and it just zooms in on him staring, and then film.
And it goes back up to the moon, and it's huge, and it shows. No, it doesn't show it yet.
Is that the title? Yeah.
Does it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because that guy had the. Because
it goes to the party.
Had the parrot. So he has a parrot,
Talking parrot.
and it says, "There's sunshine."
It says the title. And Will thought he was hallucinating in this. I assure you he's
I
not.
literally I thought I was like having a fever dream because it was so weird up into it's only 6 minutes in.
Well, because it said it, and then like 10 or 15 seconds after it said it, you're just like, did that parrot just say blue sunshine? And I'm like, yes.
I thought
yes,
I was
Will?
tripping on acid.
And then
Yeah.
apparently you forgot that happened because
Yeah.
after the movie ended, you're like, did that parrot say blue sunshine? And I'm like, yes, it did.
God damn it.
But then it goes to this party, and there's a guy just sitting in the corner.
Oh my god. I don't.
And it,
I
like, pans around this party.
I don't understand. He's not sitting in the corner. He's like squatting on a chair.
On a chair, yeah.
And he's like perched like a bird.
And it pans around. And
Like,
they're all
no
having-
explanation.
No, and you don't get one. Pans around, and then everyone's having fun, and then he starts like flapping his arms.
Well, I love when it pans around because everyone's pretending to have conversations, and it looks so fucking awkward because they look like fucking robots.
They're just waving their arms around. And the guy starts wagging his arms like a bird, and then one guy's like,
and the guy's like, "Have you ever heard of Rodan?"
and the girl's like, "Was that a band?" And he's like, "No, the monster." And Will should appreciate because Will loves his fucking kaijus.
Yeah, I know what they were referencing. That doesn't make me like the scene.
You should because
I don't.
He does his best Rodan impression.
It was a terrible impression.
How dare you? He did that amazing impression and then vanished from the movie.
So
he runs around the room like squawking.
Yeah, and then
doing all this
some
shit.
guy pushes him to the ground, and he pretends to like die like Rodan, and
then another guy comes in and is like, "Let's take a group photo," and instead he starts singing.
Yeah, let's take a group photo. They start walking all towards the center of the room, and then he just starts snapping his fingers, and he wants to do like a musical thing. And so our main dude like gets next to him and starts snapping his fingers, and you think they're gonna do a duet.
No, he just sits down.
But he just sits down while the guy starts singing.
He sits down and
It's so awkward.
And starts staring at his girlfriend and like mouthing "I love you," and he keeps singing and singing, and then he grabs one of the girls and starts like kissing her, and the guy's like, "Hey, like that's my girlfriend," and then he like grabs him. He grabs his head.
I love in this movie
God.
every time they do the reveal. So they have full hair and eyebrows, right?
Yeah.
But for some reason, right when they rip off the wig, the eyebrows come off too.
Yes. He rips off his hair, and he has like a couple of like janky strands of hair still.
And his pupils are like all the way dilated.
Yeah. He's got the fucking ecstasy pupils, and he got no eyebrows, and he just zooms in on him staring, and he just runs out of the house.
He's running out of the house and like, what? Okay, what the hell was that?
And then they all scatter.
One of the friends is gonna go look for him.
Well, some of them leave.
No, yeah, some of them leave, and then like 3 girls stay behind.
Yeah.
And so the one guy with the girlfriend that he was mouthing "I love you," he goes outside with her, and
He says goodbye, tells her to go home.
he tells her to go home, and he's gonna go look for this guy.
Yeah, he gets a flashlight and starts looking. Meanwhile, the girls are sitting there, and they're like, maybe it's a prank.
This is the most awkward fucking like murder scene.
I have a question, which I'll get to. The guy, oh my god, they hear a knock on the door, and they're like, "Oh, that's probably so and so back from searching."
They open it up as the guy,
and he grabs her, like lifts her up, and then shoves her in the fireplace.
I don't know why. I know it's like supposed to be horrific.
Supposed to be.
But like she tries to crawl back out of the fireplace, and he just gently pushes her back into the fireplace. Oh
and
my
then
god!
they're all horrified, and then eventually, I guess
he grabs a pitchfork and hits one of them,
and then punches the other one out.
Punches another one out, and presumably we're supposed to believe that he killed all of them.
Yes.
Because the guy comes back.
Yes. And he looks at the fireplace and sees the barbecue. And is like horrified.
I think it's led to believe maybe he threw all the girls in the fireplace.
Maybe, but this is just speculation because they don't tell you shit.
Yeah.
But he just sits there like all dejected, and then the dude walks in, and they kind of wrestle, and then he runs outside. The guy chases him. They get onto like a road and start wrestling around, and then there's
This
there's
truck. Oh, okay.
there's a
So they-
there's a truck,
They
and
show a truck, and
the dude's driving normal, and then his passenger is just staring at a cookie.
he's not staring at this cookie.
He
is like fantasizing about how he's going to eat this cookie, how good it's going to
Yeah.
taste, because he keeps flipping it around
and smiling.
and just looking at it like it's the most delicious fucking thing he's ever seen in his entire life.
Yes, and they see the two fucking dudes wrestling, and then they drive up, and then our guy shoves the bald man. He gets run over, and then they are like, stop, or whatever.
Yeah, so they hit the bald man.
The guy runs away, and then they go to like check if the bald guy's dead. He gets up, walks like 2 inches, falls down, and is dead. And then the guy with the cookie,
He chases the guy.
Cookie Monster, gets this
Listen,
fucking.
okay, listen. I get it. He ruined cookie time.
I get it. No,
Okay, he ruined the precious moment you get when you bite into a delicious cookie.
it's true because he grabbed a gun out of a dash, somehow went back to the cabin, starts pointing it at him like, "You sick, you sick fuck." Remember?
I don't get why our main dude went back to the murder scene and
he was staring at the fireplace.
and made himself look like totally implicated in this fucking murder of all these people.
He went back to stare at the fireplace some more.
He was just sitting like a maniac,
Yeah.
just watching these bodies burn. I don't get it. We're supposed to root for this man.
I don't know who you're supposed to root for in this thing, dude. It doesn't matter.
He's like, you sick fuck. You
sick fuck. And like he gets up and does something. He's like, no, and then he shoots him in the arm, and then he runs away like, "You sick fuck! I'll shoot you again, you sick fuck!"
And so
He gets in a car and drives away.
Well, no, he fired.
But he keeps firing.
Yeah, he keeps firing at the car, and then the police show up.
Well, there's like this like 360 shot where it's like him driving away, and then it pans back to the cabin, and the cops are there,
They're investigating, and they're talking. I guess the girlfriend came back.
and they're
she's-
suspecting the guy.
Well, of course they are.
Yeah.
He went back to like a fucking psychopath.
And then she's like, "No, it was this guy."
You gotta really question the guy's psyche when he goes back to watch a fucking human barbecue.
It's not every day you see a human barbecue.
I
okay?
know, but you don't stick around and watch it. What
Apparently-
the fuck?
Apparently you do.
So this guy looks extremely guilty, which makes sense.
So she tells the cops it's not him, but they
There's
don't
no way
believe her.
it could be him. And they're like, okay, well, we're still gonna go after him. We're gonna bring him in. So he's on the lam, and then we
get the jump scare transition.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
It's like it's this campaign poster of this guy running for Congress, and like the eyes are all crossed out, and then it's the girlfriend meets with our guy. I think she meets with him.
No, because doesn't he goes back to the doctor, right?
I think so.
So our main dude knows
Yeah.
the doctor from the beginning.
Yeah,
So he goes to talk to the doctor
and he's been
because
shot.
he has the bullet wound. And so the doctor just puts a Band-Aid on it essentially. It's like, hey, you should be good. Like,
He won't tell him what happened. And then as he's like about to leave, he sees that the doctor has
like a suit.
well, he sees that, but he also sees like strands of hair.
Yeah, so he thinks there's something like connecting all these.
Yeah,
Because bald.
because
Bald bad. We'll get to
Bald
more
bad.
of that. We'll get to more of that.
And then I think then we get the transition. And he
Yeah, so
meets,
then it transitions. So
he meets the girl, tells her like I don't even fucking remember honestly.
Well, he tells her to basically he's not guilty, and he's trying to figure out what made the friend go like crazy. Right?
Yeah.
So he's like, okay, we need to figure out this so it doesn't implicate me anymore.
He sees someone reading a newspaper, and it has shows detective goes crazy, murders his family. And it's like a picture of another bald man.
So he goes to get his own newspaper, looks up who it is, and is going to go investigate because it's like similar situation to what happened.
He goes to the guy's house. It's locked.
So he
talks to the neighbor.
He talks to one of the neighbors, and she tells him that there's no way to get in, but he just kind of went crazy.
For no reason. He was the nicest person ever, and then he snapped.
Got like super mad and killed like everyone, including his dog.
His whole family, kids, and dog. So the guy, he just breaks a glass door and gets in there.
Okay, so
please, Will.
The observational mind, like the newspaper like headline, like paints this to be like this horrific murder scene.
You expect
right?
too much.
Just horrible, like just gore everywhere, right?
What movie did we watch, Will?
I know.
What's horrific here?
I know, but it's hilarious. I'm just saying the juxtaposition is like hilarious because they paint it out to be this just horrifically violent murder scene. And while we describe that, I just want you to know that's what they described it as.
Yes.
He killed like a ton of people in this one house.
Yes.
Like his entire family and a dog.
And himself.
Yeah. So he goes in and he's looking around and he sees like a tape outline on the stairs.
That outline is clean.
Yeah, there's no blood anywhere around it.
I know why. It's carpet.
Yeah.
They didn't want to put it on the carpet. Because when he goes upstairs to the fucking kid's bedroom and
he has like a mental breakdown.
You hear like audio of him murdering his family and the dude starts screaming, No.
Yeah. Why didn't he have this reaction when he watched his friends barbecue alive in a fireplace?
I don't know. Because it's barbecue. It's fun.
It's fun to watch.
But in this room, the tape outlines have like little puddles of blood, and then they like
only where they're cleanable.
And they like sprinkled a handful
on
the walls.
They didn't sprinkle. They kind of like just painted a little bit.
Because it's washable. See. Then he walks into the other room. And then he sees the outline where the guy shot himself, and it's a tiny little puddle.
This is really weird because he like gets so upset with this like hallucination he's having that he goes into the other room and like imagines himself like
strangling the guy,
like strangling this like murderer.
Yeah,
and he realizes that he's there alone.
Yes.
And there's just like where he killed himself, and so he goes back downstairs.
Well, no, he hears a noise in the closet.
Oh, that's right. And he goes in there and he sees like a mural because this guy was like a crazy photographer.
No, he sees the parrot.
Oh, my bad. Yeah,
the photography is way later. This is when he goes to the other guy's house.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're right. Sorry.
No, he opens the closet and the parrot flies out because apparently when the cops were in the house for hours on end, they just didn't bother. Fucking
maybe it was too annoying and they were just like, you know what, let's just leave the parrot in.
It kept saying blue sunshine, and because what happens is, the parrot comes out, says like, hi Johnny, which is the name of the detective,
and he notices he has a diploma from Stanford.
But the guy the parrot says blue sunshine.
Yes.
And so then he goes to the house of the friend who got run over by the truck.
Yes.
And he has all these photos because the guy's a photographer, and then there's one of the guy running for Congress, all like
it's all like psychedelic and like distorted.
And it says blue sunshine.
And it says blue sunshine. And he's like, okay, I'm gonna go ask this guy. So he goes to the congressman. Goes up to him, because the congressman's getting ready for a campaign rally, which is like he's pissed off because there's not a lot of people there.
And it's the big thing to notice. It's the congressman and his like bodyguard
lackey,
person,
like Wayne, I think his name is. And so
because he goes there with the girlfriend, and while he's talking to the congressman, the lackey's like hitting on the lady. And if your keen eye observes in the crystal clear 1080p HD, there's something up with the guy's hair.
And his skin looks a little off.
His skin looks a little crisp, and clean. But
he's talking to the congressman, and then he finally, like, because the congressman's answering all his questions and being very friendly, and then he asks about blue sunshine, and the congressman shuts up.
Yes.
And he's like, I gotta get back to my
I don't know what that is. Yeah.
I have no idea what that is. I don't know where you heard that. So
And then he also sees that there's a detective there watching him, so he just drives away.
so he runs away, and the congressman goes up to Wayne
And tells him to keep an eye on this guy.
He's like, he knows a little too much.
And then he goes to the doctor,
Yes.
who's having an operation.
I hate this fucking scene.
So this
why?
red herring. Because the other thing is, he also knows that the doctor also went to Stanford at the same time.
And graduated.
And he.
So he's in the operating room, and he's getting increasingly more like
agitated
because he keeps asking for different like equipment, and they're giving him the wrong equipment, and he starts yelling at them. And so our main guy is just watching him.
And he's like,
from a window, is just like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do.
And then eventually the surgery ends, and the guy is hiding in the closet.
Very not hidden though, because the fucking door is open so wide that you can clearly see him in there.
I mean, it doesn't matter because he ends up walking out very quickly. And then he, of course, he grabs the guy's hair.
And pulls on. He's like, what the fuck are you doing? Oh, fuck. But
then
he said, what the hell are you doing?
They talk. Basically, the doctor tells him, yes, when we were all at Stanford, it was the 60s, we did drugs, and there was something called Blue Sunshine. But
Yeah,
I never took it.
I sold it to pay off my tuition, but I never took it.
Yes.
And
He says that.
I don't remember who I gave it to, but I do remember the name of Francis, one of the guys that died.
But he also, I'm pretty sure in the scene, he says that one of the guys who sold a lot of it was the congressman.
Yes.
And he also
the congressman created it.
Yes. And then he also says that there was a big guy named Wayne who, that's all he wanted to do was acid.
And so the guy's like, okay, I got it.
And we also get a quick scene where, I think it was before this, but where the babysitter woman is like, washing her hair, and she keeps talking about she has all these headaches, and she's going bald.
Yeah, she's getting more and more agitated. It's like building up to she's gonna try something, obviously. So he goes and meets with a girlfriend again, and kind of tells her what's going on, what he's gonna like, because he's got to confront the congressman, but he has to figure out how to test it. So basically, what he's gonna do.
The doctor tells him that you need their blood.
Yeah. Well, you need their blood, a sample of their blood
to test their DNA.
But you can basically incapacitate them with this special drug.
Yeah.
And if you do that, you might be able to test their blood.
Yeah.
Without killing them.
Then he ends up going to visit the ex-wife, babysitter person of the congressman, and this scene is hilarious because the whole time he's talking to her, he keeps staring at her hair.
I love how they try and build tension because
he wants to
fucking grab that hair so bad and pull it off her head.
And then because he shows up there asking to buy drugs, and then he just starts asking who he sold the Blue Sunshine to.
And she gets pissed off and kicks him out of the house.
And then he goes downstairs, and in the meantime, oh my God, she goes in the kitchen, and the two kids.
We want ice cream. We want Dr. Pepper. We want hot dogs. The director was sat him down and was like, okay, kids.
All the stuff your parents will not give you.
Whatever junk food you want, scream it at the top of your lungs.
And she starts losing it.
Well, she tries drinking some water and can't. And then she just takes
drugs.
She takes a bunch of antacid pills. They're like Tums.
And starts she chews them up and then just starts spilling it out of her mouth. And then she takes off her fucking wig and she's bald.
And you see knives above the sink. So she grabs one.
In the meantime, the dude is at the bottom floor and he's like, fuck it, I'll go up. He goes back upstairs and of course an old woman get on.
Yeah, and an old man with a dog.
And they have to stop at the floor and they keep cutting back and forth of this woman slowly walking up to
she's
the
like
kids.
meandering to the kid. You see her like blurry image in the background, all bald and holding up the fucking knife.
And then
As the kids are screaming on the couch still.
no, they're quiet now. They're watching something.
Oh yeah.
And then we get a shot of the girl being like, "No, put that down. I'm scared."
Like, she's like fully smiling and acting like it's like a friend approaching her.
And then she like runs off to the kitchen like, "No," and you can tell she's still like, "Ha ha ha."
The funniest part about this whole scene is how they're being chased around the entire apartment, but the apartment is so tiny that it's like claustrophobic. They can only film in like a little tiny part of the kitchen and a little part of the fucking living room.
The camera's like all up close, and eventually the guy like gets up there, hears screaming, and he breaks in with his fucking credit card.
It's so stupid because he just puts the card to the door and automatically it opens the door.
It's like a key card, see?
Yeah.
You play GoldenEye, what's the problem? But he gets in there, and then he like starts tussling with her, and she knocks him through like the balcony door.
So they struggle,
and then he throws her off the.
Well, he stabs her and then throws her off the building.
I never saw him stab her.
Well, the knife has blood all over it.
Yeah, but that was not visually conveyed.
No, okay, I'm only saying he stabbed her because how else did they fucking get all this blood on the knife?
Magic.
And then of course our hero reacts in the most normal, casual way possible when her friend comes there.
The friend comes there and is like, "Oh my god, what's going on?" And then she starts screaming.
Instead of trying to reason with her and like be like, "It's not me. Like this isn't my fault."
Like, shut up.
Shut up. And, screaming. Like, puts his bloody hand all over her fucking mouth and is like, "Shut up, shut up." Because he's reasonable. And then he runs away, smearing this fucking lady's blood all over the goddamn walls.
There's another part where he meets up with the girl again.
Well, and then Wayne is watching them.
And then he, like, talks to her and is like...
I know you know him.
And then... I don't even...
And then invites her to a club.
Or she invites him, I don't know. But basically tells him, be at this club because, like, he's going to be at a rally at a mall there. And then she also calls the detective and tells him, like...
Hey, I need back... Like, basically, I'm going to meet who I think is...
Yeah.
Because the girlfriend thinks that Wayne is killing these people.
Yeah, well, she also tells the cop to, like, test this guy or something.
I don't know.
Our main guy also goes to a gun store and gets, like, a tranq gun.
And then goes to the campaign office to see if Wayne's there.
He's not. He went to...
He has his headaches, and he went to... he's going to be at the campaign tonight.
At Shopping World.
Yeah.
And they all go there. The girl's at a disco, and Wayne shows up and is, like, immediately annoyed at how loud it is. And he's
all sweaty and shit. And
he goes to the bathroom. And the cop shows up, and apparently Wayne's been in there for fucking 20 minutes.
And so the cop goes into...
This is hilarious, because...
The cop goes into the
Wayne is just
bathroom,
leaning over a sink.
And you can tell it's just the actor holding... Like, his wig isn't staying on, so he's just holding his wig on.
And then, of course, the guy's like, hey, like, get up. And he takes his wig off and then immediately fucking...
He just kabooms this detective.
He booms him. And then he gets out of there, all bald, and starts walking around.
Dude, this scene is fucking hilarious.
This scene sent me because
it's just disco music while he's just like he's lifting people above his head and throwing them across the room.
There's the way it starts is hilarious because he picks up a random woman dancing and just tosses her, and you just see her get tossed and land and hit these two dudes, and then he like throws everybody around. He takes like a bouncer and starts punching him. Meanwhile, this campaign rally is going, and the dude has, because at an earlier scene, he was on the phone yelling about puppets.
I thought I was losing my fucking mind when these puppets
came on. Yelling about
on.
Puppets. Fast forward to now, and there is a puppet show.
It's Barbara Streisand puppet and Frank Sinatra puppet.
But also, friend puppet.
Oh, that's right. Because our totally sane dude looks at the Frank Sinatra puppet and just envisions his friend as a puppet.
Because his friend was singing Frank Sinatra at the party.
Yeah, because it shows a little clip of him snapping his fingers, and then it shows his friend as a fucking puppet. So they had the budget
To get a puppet.
to make a puppet of this actor,
Yes.
and we still got the ending that we got.
Because they spent the money on the puppets.
They blew their fucking budget.
Then everyone, like, oh my God, a bunch of people leave. They start running out of the disco. And, everyone's like, what the hell's happening? And some guy, there's a bald maniac. And then,
Bald bad.
he says some nonsense to the congressman, runs over there. In the meantime, the woman, wakes up the detective, and he's okay.
Well, and she gets him up and then goes into the DJ booth because the bald man
He's chasing
can't
her.
get in there,
And
so,
turns on the music. Oh, no, he,
no, because he's trying to because
the guy shows
the
up.
guy shows up and perfect opportunity to shoot this fucker right in the back of the head
No, he jumps on him.
with a trank and just jumps on him instead.
He gets tossed around. She turns on the disco, and he goes insane and runs away. And then he tells her, stay here. And
Like
then
you're safe.
he chases the disco, the fucking
Through
angry
a
bald
department
man.
store. Now this is also Christmas adjacent. There's Christmas decorations everywhere.
Yes, there is also a Christmas sweater in the beginning.
Yeah.
But he walks around. They have an awkward chase.
I do love how it shows that the bald man went into a bunch of bald mannequins and even ripped the hair off of one of the mannequins.
He didn't rip the hair off. He smashed his head. So angry.
Because he has hair.
Well, because see, they show bald mannequins, and they're all in one piece, no problem. But we see a hairy mannequin. He boomed it.
Hair's bad.
And then he also tosses a hairy mannequin
Yes.
at our guy.
So they have a tussle, and then they go into a record store.
And he, hides behind a bunch of shelves and does the gun mantra from the gun store.
Where he's like, okay, so...
Both hands.
Both hands. Slowly
Let it down
reach up.
slowly.
You have to squeeze the trigger.
Squeeze the trigger.
Don't pull it.
Don't pull it. If you pull it, it won't hit the mark. And then he waddles in front of him, shoots him in the throat. He walks around. He knocks over one record stand, and then glitches.
Then, walks out and just slowly lays on the ground.
The guy walks up to
Oh
him,
my God.
and the camera
I
starts fucking running away.
I can't.
It starts running away, and Will's like,
This is where I wanted to run away. After I know what's happening, I want to run away.
a text comes up on the screen. It says, Wayne Fucknugget is was tested for something and is now interned in an insane asylum.
Before you get to the next scroll, I was like, there is no fucking way. There is no fucking way that they didn't conclude anything and we just got text.
Because the next text says there is still 250 doses of Blue Sunshine that we don't know where they are. And
what the fuck?
that's it.
We got blue ball.
You got Blue Sunshine.
Jesus Christ, dude. I was like, you couldn't have even tried to end the movie?
Nope.
You couldn't be bothered to even attempt an ending. It just, the camera runs away fast. That's the director running away from the fucking
Running away from the movie,
into
yeah.
the movie. It's just fuck it, put words on the screen. Dude, what the fuck?
That was a choice.
I feel like I'm more upset about it than you are. And I don't know why, but I am. I'm very disappointed with this fucking ending.
It's because I accepted, acceptance is important in suffering.
Well, so I don't hate the movie, right? It's not,
I accepted the memery.
it's fucking awful, but it's entertaining. Because, it's so ridiculous and so stupid that I'm like, okay, I was here for it. I was like, what ridiculous ending are they gonna do? I'm ready. I'm ready for this
Text.
ridiculous ass ending. Text. We don't even get a conclusion to anyone's story.
Other than the bodyguard.
Yeah,
That's it.
that's the only conclusion we get. The only closure. Because if you think about it, all it said was what the blue sunshine was tested for and like what they did, but it doesn't say where they ended up, where anyone like was, like what happened to anyone.
I just forgot. We had an awkward scene where our dude is in a park and he gets the tranquilizer drug
Oh yeah.
from his doctor friend.
Well, and all these homeless people are talking to him, and he looks over, and one of them is a weird bald dude.
Bald detective.
I think the whole team had just hated bald people.
They had a bad.
That's my conspiracy theory for this movie. Is they just had a bad experience with
bad acid trip.
So okay, so yeah, we were theorizing, and I had a theory. You said Hare Krishna is an acid,
Because
right?
they look like, if you've ever seen like Hare Krishnas, where they're like bald and they
Like
kind
the
of look
monks,
like
right?
they kind of
Yeah.
they're like monks. That's
So-
what everyone in this kind of looks
So
like.
I think the writer or the director or whoever you want it to be took acid, was peaking, probably having a bad trip, saw a Hare Krishna or a monk, and like he turned into like a demon or something,
Yeah,
and like in his mind, right?
turn into a moon demon.
And so he had a bad trip with a monk or a Hare Krishna, and decided to write this movie
and
because bald bad.
and we had to watch it.
Listen, no one likes going bald, but you don't have to make a movie about how much you hate bald people.
That's the other theory, is it's someone deeply scared of going bald.
Yeah, it's fucking body horror.
This is the ultimate body
it's
horror.
Body horror. It's an entire movie about the horrors of going bald.
Someone had to make
Because well, listen, when you go bald, you get so angry that you want to kill people.
it. Listen, I get it. Stress is supposedly causes baldness. I don't
But
know.
it's just a stupid premise. A fucking delayed response acid that makes you kill people
10
and
years.
go bald. Why the go bald 10 years later? Why they go bald? Unless
because
you hate bald people.
They needed a quirk.
Because you hate bald people.
Well, that and they
We get it.
They
You-
needed a quirk.
Whoever made Squirm hates bald people.
They needed a quirk. You can't just have a movie where there's no physical quirk. And what is the easiest?
Bald.
Thank you. What else are they gonna do?
The dilated pupils, I mean.
Baldness, dilated pupils. That's it.
I don't-
They needed some sort of visual quirk.
Listen, I can't argue with you because they literally didn't end the movie. They just fucking stopped.
They ended it. We had credits. We had text on the screen. What's your problem?
They barely ended the movie. Like they didn't even try. It's so lazy.
Blood Death had text on the screen.
I know, but that movie's fucking awesome. And it technically ended. He did accomplish his goal.
You did explode him.
He did kaboom the guy. I mean, yeah, literally no other character gets conclusion, but yeah, it's fine.
There's conclusions. Everyone died.
Yeah.
Everyone else died.
Yeah, that's true.
This movie boomed somebody. Us.
And you know what? Blood Debts. He went out like a fucking hero in that goddamn the scroll at the end.
Okay, turning himself in.
He turned
Yeah.
himself in. He didn't have to. He did it.
Yeah, for no reason, because he's a good guy.
I don't know why, but he did it.
And this, we just get one of those stupid like 70s horror gotchas of
Like, oh, it was a acid.
they're still out there.
and they're still out there.
Be afraid.
Yeah, it's stupid.
It's like,
It's fucking
okay.
stupid. I fucking hate this ending. It's so lazy.
It's fine.
It is going to be fine. I'll be fine, but I'm just upset.
You will survive the blue.
I will be fine.
The blue sunshining of your balls.
the
okay.
blue ball sunshine. Okay, I will survive. I just am very disappointed with that ending because, like, holy shit! It's been a while since we've gotten that kind of ending.
Since you've been that boomed.
Yeah, since we've been that boomed, and I just wasn't expecting it because the rest of the movie was so ludicrous that I was like, all right, like maybe the ending is gonna be like just fucking insane.
See, what I was hoping for at the ending was that the congressman, was going to be giving a speech, and he would catch the bald
I was hoping he would go like fucking like super mutant, like
Super Saiyan
like
bald.
since he made the acid, he'd go like super mutant, just like fucking like they'd like change the actor to a buff guy and just fucking like just roid
fucking
rage
Hulk.
over the fucking like whole audience.
That would be an ending.
And then they have to fucking like stop him, like trapping him in the mall.
That would be an ending. But unfortunately,
Anything would have been better than what we got.
we got text.
But yeah, so shitty to pretty. I think I'm gonna give this lower marks because of the ending, but
Cold,
it is cold. But that's the way it happens. Okay,
ice cold.
I'm upset, and I'm allowed to be okay.
The Jimmies have been rustled.
They have been rustled. They really have been because I fucking hate that ending. What would you give it though? I'm curious.
I mean, it is going off of entertainment.
It was entertaining. I will give it that. It was so fucking stupid. It was so ridiculously stupid.
This is hard.
I know. It's a hard one. I'm giving it like one less than my original rating.
This is hard because I'm gonna give it a 6. I thought about giving it a 7 for entertainment value, but it is because the big entertainment for me is the 3 attack scenes
Yeah.
with the baldies
Right.
and the ludicrous like acting on display.
Yeah, the acting is fucking just all over the place.
And for that I do give it like above like a medium, but I do think it obviously the ending is just comical because of just they had the audacity to do that, but also it just feels like it needs like an extra gobbledygook scene at the very end.
That's what I was hoping for. That's why I'm so disappointed because
Would have
like
boosted this to a 7 or more
I
on
think
entertainment.
it could have gone like an 8 even, if
Right.
depending on how ridiculous the scene was.
Depending on how
Right.
entertaining it was, yeah.
And I was gonna give it a 6. I was fully prepared if the ending wasn't like, if the okay. So I thought if they did a mediocre ending, I'd give it a 6, right?
Yeah.
But if they did a kaboom ending where it's like huge, like
Something
over the
epic.
top, like ridiculous, fucking stupid bullshit, I'd give it like a 7 or 8, right?
Yeah.
But they ended it in the worst fucking way possible. Like that is one of my biggest cinema sins. If you fucking end a movie that like lazy, and you've been pretty lazy the entire fucking movie, to be honest, if you do that and don't even have a really have like a conclusion to your movie, right? Like because they just tested the fucking thing and like
Yeah. There's
it
more
gets
out there, whatever.
for me, it kind of ruins the entire fucking movie. Like, there's no point to anything. Like, it's fun to watch, and it's entertaining, but I think at the end of the day, I would give it, like, a mid rating. So I think a 5 is where it stands, just because of the ending just makes the conclusion, like, that climactic thing where you're, like, excited for the ending. It just kind of, like, doesn't.
See, the thing is, like, this is a deeply stupid movie.
It is.
And I mean, like I know this movie has a bit of a there are fans of this movie and to each their own.
I was ready to be.
No.
No, I'm just kidding. There was no way I was going to be like a huge fan of it.
Stupid.
It is dumb.
Which is why like the ending sucks. I can't really get mad at it though because the movie is just stupid. Like
I think
it's the ending is almost on brand.
Well, it just kind of ruined like the whole thing. It just like crumbled. Like
That's why it's funny. It's like watching a chef, like it's like you watch a chef and they just bumble they're like, I'm gonna cook you a steak,
They just fuck everything up along the way.
and they just throw some slab of milk cow on there, no butter, no nothing, no salt, no pepper. You just watch them cook it, and they try tossing it, and they like toss it out of the pan, and then they do this, and then like they're like, okay, hold on a second, turn around. You're like, okay, I'm turning around, and then like I'm gonna serve you the steak, and then you turn around. And you're like, oh, what's on my plate? And then they do the thing where they like close the plate, and then you open the plate, and it's just like it's just a piece of charcoal,
Or just nothing. Nothing on the plate.
or it's just the garnish.
Yeah,
There's no
just
steak.
a little sprig of like a leaf.
It's just like a fucking leaf that they grabbed out of their garden.
That's what we got.
That's how I feel about this.
We
It's
got
like
a garnish.
it's like you watch a complete fuck up, and then you're like, okay, well, how does it end? And then, nah.
Yeah, I don't know. Like for me, I can't get over the
If
ending.
this was-
Maybe I can change my rating later, but
I will
like,
say-
I don't know. Like
If this was like a better movie, and then it ended like that, I'd probably give it like less than a 5.
absolutely. I mean, yeah, no, 100%.
If this was like an actual movie that I was
If it was like a really good movie and I was fully invested,
yeah, like we weren't laughing at the whole thing. We were like, oh yeah, this is interesting, and then it just like
what was that one with the phone?
oh my god, I'm disconnected.
That
I wasn't
one.
gonna say that one. That one was ridiculous. I was gonna say the Pit,
The Pit. Oh yeah, that's right.
where they just go back in the hole and the rednecks shoot them, and they just kind of like stare at it and
They
accept
just
their face,
yeah.
and we're just like, that's it.
Yeah.
This is just stupid.
I mean, all the way around, yeah, it's a
Here's-
very stupid movie.
like there's just some movies that I don't know. It's like it's impossible to watch this and take it seriously.
yeah.
It's fucking impossible.
How could you?
Like it's so stupid. Like
It
as
is
soon as
very
the
dumb.
first attack happens, as soon as they fucking rip his stupid wig off and he fucking eyes dilate and he just stares at the camera, you're just like, this is dumb. Like, and that's not like a budget thing or anything like that. Like, it's just dumb. It's just like so he throws a woman into a fireplace awkwardly, and then you just see him like
Shoving her back in.
awkwardly shoving her in. Like, there's nothing like horrific.
Well, I love how they try and build it up like this is like supposed to be scary, right?
Well, because in the synopsis, sir, it even said like horrific. Let me fucking pull it up.
Like what the like? How is this fucking horrific?
And I knew. I was like, it's on the podcast, and the dude made fucking squirm. It's not gonna be that horrific. Give me a fucking break. Yeah, bizarre series of murders become homicidal maniacs. Like, yeah,
Homicidal.
horrific crimes.
Okay.
Okay, my brutal killings. Yeah, you read that, and you know your mind. I know there's some other fucking movie that does this, where it's like some sort of drug that makes people fucking go cuckoo. I just know that there's some other fucking movie.
I
that
know
does
there
this.
is. I know. I'm pretty sure there is. I can't think of the top of my head what they are, but
But when you see that description, because in the description basically says like that it's drugs and it's people turning into fucking violent maniacs, and in your head you kind of picture, I don't know, something a little more with like
well, I was expecting like
oomph.
they're like homicidal maniacs, like you would expect, like heads getting torn off and like limbs getting ripped away and shit.
It just looks comical.
Well, they just chose the fucking like lamest fucking scenes ever.
They go bald.
They go bald, their eyes dilate, and then they shove people in the fires gently.
We have a woman shoved into a fireplace.
Yes.
One woman, she's not stabbed with the
She just
pitchfork
gets
thing.
thrown off a balcony.
No, she gets. I'm talking about in the beginning. We have a woman who because he picks up like the
Oh yeah, he just hits her with a pitchfork.
he hits her, and then the other woman he punches her.
Yeah,
That's it. The woman with the kids does not kill anybody. The detective is completely off screen. That is completely off screen.
Yeah.
There is only that I can fucking see confirmed one kill. Am I wrong?
No.
Exactly. There's one
From like
confirmed.
From homicidal, like crazy fucking drugged out, like
From a movie about drugged out homicidal fucking hippies. One confirmed kill. I don't know.
if you want to argue, our main dude kills more people than the homicidal maniacs,
You know,
or the same amount.
let me share a funny thing I read. Okay, I just think this is funny. This also to me shows how stupid this movie is. And again, my apologies if you love this movie. We clearly disagree, but I read that they apparently told the main actor to act weird because
Are you trying to? No. You're not trying to tell me that they wanted you to like think that he was
yes,
what?
they apparently wanted you to maybe think he was a killer or the killer or something.
Alex, at no fucking point in the entire movie did I think that he was the killer.
Thank you. That is how you know this is a stupid movie. Because why the fuck would I think he's the killer when we saw the dude in the beginning push her in the fireplace? How fucking brain dead is this movie?
You weren't supposed to see that, okay?
Oh, yeah, we weren't supposed to. It didn't happen.
It didn't happen.
Sorry, yeah, sorry, Obi-Wan. The Jedi mind trick didn't work on me because I fucking saw it. Like, what? How the fuck does that make any sense?
It doesn't make any sense.
Or unless they also wanted you to think, oh, maybe he was also part of the friend group that took the drugs. But at no fucking point.
Well, we do see him hallucinate, but it's toward the end of the movie.
No, but also, like, we know that he didn't go to Stanford with them.
Yeah, and he didn't know what the fuck blue sunshine was.
Exactly.
He had no fucking idea what it was. So wouldn't you think if he was the murderer, he'd have a little inkling of an idea that he used to take an acid called blue sunshine?
Dumb movie.
Dumb. It's fucking dumb.
Dumb. Funny as fuck, but my god.
Hilarious, but dumb.
Holy shit, some of the choices and ideas.
Except for the ending. So, listen, I don't know how anyone can agree with that ending.
I don't want to know. I don't want to know. I wanted more bald people nonsense.
I wanted the fucking mayor to Hulk out and fucking go all baldy fucking
like a fucking like a final boss, you know?
Yeah, dude, that would have I would have given it a 10.
Because we have the mini bosses, the mini balds, and then big bald. Okay.
He's like floating and like doing like a Krishna pose.
He's like a monk
shooting lasers out of his fucking eyes or something like shit like that.
Oh god. That's a movie.
That would have been a movie.
That would have been
10 out of 10.
Fucking 10 out of 10, man. They could have made it as stupid as they wanted to, but if we got an ending with some bald dude shooting lasers out of his eyes, I would have been like, yeah, this is the greatest fucking thing I've ever seen. Instead, it's just a dumb
fucking text.
It's a dumb, entertaining movie.
Yep, that's it. That's basically it. That's all I have to say. It's dumb, it's entertaining, and fuck the ending.
Yeah, that's it.
Straight up fuck the ending. So anyway, yeah, that's about it. That was Blue Sunshine, and yes. For They Mostly Come Out at Night. This has been Will.
This has been Alex.
And we'll talk to y'all later.
Buck Buck, take your Rogaine.
Roger, Roger.